everyone, welcome to Mompreneurs to Millionaires, today's free training. Today we're talking all about SEO. So tell me below, have you ever felt confused by SEO or not sure what it even means, what you should be doing? Tell me below, how do you feel about SEO? Awesome, thanks so much for being here, so glad you're here. All right, so let me know if you're watching on the live. Give me a little wave or a thumbs up below. Or let me know if you're watching on the replay. I'd love to know who's coming in the day of and who's coming in afterwards. Awesome, little wave, hi guys. All right, so are you confused about SEO, right? Give me a little hand wave if you feel like you're not sure what to do with it. We are going to talk all about where to find those great keywords, right? How to find keywords, where to put them, and what you should be really thinking about for SEO, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss this. Thanks so much to everyone who voted. Every week I put out a poll on Tuesdays on what topic we should talk about. So if there's something that keeps coming up for your business, a question that you've had, something that you feel like you keep running over, right? Something that you feel like you keep having questions about, just let me know, because I would love to, maybe it's something we can talk about in the group. Maybe it's something that, that other people, right? I'm sure you're not alone. Other people have the same questions. So feel free to vote on that poll every Tuesday, as well as suggest any topics. I'd love to hear from you. You can always suggest topics below, or you can reach out to me privately as well. But feel free to vote on that poll every Tuesday, and thanks so much to everyone who voted this week. Awesome, so this week the poll won SEO. So everyone has been, or more people are thinking about SEO than maybe other stuff. So, so hopefully this is helpful. This is for go-getters, right? I know that you are a go-getter coach. If you are here, you are wanting to make waves in your business, right? You are wanting to move your life, your business forward. So this is for you, this is for go-getter coaches, and I always like to say with these videos, with any free content, right, you definitely want to put on your abundant mindset, right? Put on your abundant hat and really think about all possibilities. Abundance for me means that all things are possible and you have the power to change, but you can only change with action, right? So this is for go-getter coaches who are willing to take action in their business. So I would like to invite you to write down two action items that you took away from this video. So as I'm talking, right, as you're putting me on hopefully fast speed, right, we're all busy. So write down two things that you take away from this video that you're going to try on your business, that you're going to try to apply, that you're going to think about, things that you are wanting to apply in your business. Definitely think about how you can do something different, right? The best way to make moves in your business is to try something different. So definitely that is what we're going to talk about today, but definitely try to write down two action items that, that you can take away from this video and apply to your business. So hopefully feel free to share. We'd love to all see what two action items you pick, or you can send them to me if you want, or just write them down for yourself. So I'd love to know what two things you picked up on today, even if it's just a quick aha moment, right? If it's something that you feel like is something you hadn't thought of before, right? I would love to hear that below. All right, so if you're new here, my name is Christina, and I've been in business for really the last decade, right? I started my first little Etsy shop back in 2010. So for the last 15 years, right, I've been testing strategies online. I have been trying things that don't work, right? And so I always say I made all the mistakes so you don't have to, right? I have figured out what strategies work and what does not. So definitely learn from those who have gone before you, I always say, right? But my husband and I started a little bike shop back in 2014. And so I love talking about the bike shop, right? If you've seen any of my other videos. And what we really learned at the bike shop was that it is so hard to find your customers, or you get stuck in a pattern of, if I build it, they will come, right? I really thought if we made the perfect business, the perfect location, the perfect atmosphere, the perfect equipment, the perfect, right, everything, the perfect logo, the perfect colors, right? I did all the things and I built it and they still didn't come. right? That is such an eye-opener. And I had learned that same lesson with my Etsy shop back in 2010. I thought, oh, I'll make this beautiful Etsy shop. I'll put all my, wares and crafts out there and people will come, right? We often think that as a business owner, I will build it and people will come. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way, right? It definitely hasn't for me. Let me know if you built it and people just showed up, right? Very rarely that is the case. We have to go where our customers are. And that is really the lesson that I keep learning over and over. You have to go to your customers, right? It is not enough for you to just put some posts out there, make some pretty pictures and say, hey, here I am, and people will come, right? People are not flocking to often, right? As much as you need, right? You may get a few followers and things like that, but that is the lesson that I keep learning over and over, and that I keep hearing from other business owners, is that we get stuck in a posting and hoping strategy, right? If you feel like you are posting and hoping, give me a little wave or a thumbs up, right? So many of us get stuck in this pattern, right? That we are posting and hoping our stuff lands on the right ears. We are hoping that, the right people find us. And it's a real, I think for women especially, right? It can be a real passive approach to our business. I think many of us are taught not to be direct, right? We are taught to be polite first and foremost. And so I think it's really hard as women business owners to put ourselves out there, but also to be direct and go where our customers are, right? So that was a big lesson I learned at the bike shop, is I had to go where my customers were, right? And really invite them to the business, give them a reason to come and see me. That was really the biggest lesson, I think. So, right, fast forward, after our bike shop sadly closed, right? And what a heartache that was, right? If anyone has closed a brick and mortar store, tell me below. I'd love to hear. But right, that was such a big lesson. And so I really turned that pain into my passion, because I love helping other business owners. I don't want to have to see another small business owner have to close her doors, right? That is really my passion. So I am here to share everything that I've learned over the last 15 years with you. And I am just hoping that, right, you don't have to close your doors, and that just the right little spark of knowledge or the right little motivation will help you continue with your business, right? So that's my goal here. We all rise together, right? That is my motto. That is my mantra. I am sticking with it. This is the year for women. I'm claiming it. So this is to your business, and may abundance come to all of us, right? So you are here for SEO, right? So let's get back to SEO. So at the bike shop, we did have a website, and I really wish that I had thought more about SEO, right? I think I still was a little bit confused, right? If anyone is new to SEO, search engine optimization. So with all of these social media platforms, Google, as well as Facebook, and Pinterest even, we're gonna talk all about Pinterest, but all of these platforms have the search capability, right? So people are searching for stuff, right? And that is the whole idea, is that you wanna show up in people's searches. So this is what search engine optimization is. We really want to get the right keywords, use the right message so that we show up in people's searches. And this is the big question, right? What words, what message, what, right? Where do I put it? All these things. So the biggest thing I think that I learned at the bike shop is that Google, of course, is where everybody wants to be, where everybody is, where everyone's searching, right? So definitely with Google, you want to think about what is showing up for you when people search whatever you think they would be searching for, right? More often than not, people are not searching your business name directly. More often than not, people are not searching your name directly. They may, right? If you have a really popular profile, or, right, you've been out there a lot. So more often they are searching for the words that you are offering, right? The words that you, for the results that you're offering, they are searching for the services that you are offering. Those are the words, right, that you really want to think about. As well as, I would argue, the words that you may want to think about are your target audience, right? So for your target audience, it may not be that people are always searching, but their Google algorithm or their Facebook algorithm is going to show them stuff that they have already searched. So if Google or Facebook knows that you are a woman coach and you are interacting with a lot of other women coaches, you may want to, it may show you more women coach stuff, right? So those are some ideas to really think about, is what you have been searching for and what your target audience is searching for. It's really what SEO is all about, is getting in the mindset of your target audience. What would they be searching? If they have this problem that you offer the solution for, right? What are they searching for? Are they searching for wellness tips for moms, right? Are they searching for peace in my heart, right? Are they searching for how to have less stress and anxiety, right? What are the things that they might be searching for? And those are the words you want to use in everything, right? Everywhere you can. So that's really the key with SEO. So I'm going to share the first tip that I think is really important. Where to get our keywords, right? This is a big lesson I think that all of us as business owners have to figure out, right? And so many of you have probably already discovered this, right? As you're typing in Google, it will suggest searches, popular searches, keywords, those types of things. You definitely want to pay attention to those words. So a great exercise, right, is to go to the Google search bar and start typing the problem that you want to solve. What would your target audience be typing in Google to find you, right? So what would those words be, right? So often it would be like how to start my business, how to grow on Facebook, right? Those are some things that I would think about for my business. How to feel calmer throughout the day, right? How to let go of my ancestral past, right? How to clear my chakras. Those might be some things that you are searching for, or that your target audience would be searching for to find the solution that you provide. So those are all things to definitely think about. So definitely the number one tip is to find your keywords, and I'm going to share with you a couple of places where you can find your keywords. So some really great places that are searchable, of course, is Google. Google's a great place. ChatGPT is another really great place to ask ChatGPT, right? Show me a raise of hands, right? Who loves ChatGPT? Man, what a lifesaver. So type in ChatGPT, especially if you've already asked ChatGPT to create stuff for your business, right? Whether it's write a blog for you, or write a post for you, or map out your landing page, or whatever you've asked ChatGPT to do. It is remembering things about your business, right? So it kind of already knows a lot about you and your business and what you've been searching for. So definitely ask ChatGPT, what are 50 keywords that my ideal client would be searching for to find the result that I offer, right? Or what would they be searching in order to find my product? What would they be searching for? Things like that. And you can always, with just about every prompt that I ask ChatGPT, I will say, give me, please write in SEO-rich keywords for, and then your target audience and the result that you offer. So that you're already always asking and including in your posts, in your blog, in your wherever, that you're already asking for some of these SEO-rich keywords. So ChatGPT is a great tool. Definitely think about ChatGPT. Another one is Pinterest, and I love, if you've watched any of my videos, right, I love talking about Pinterest because I think it is such an underutilized tool. Many say that Pinterest is not as much of a social media platform as it is a searchable database, right? So that really goes along with SEO. So Pinterest is a really great platform to look for keywords. So look for SEO keywords. So really think about, I love Pinterest because I love visuals. I love beautiful pictures. Who doesn't? I love, just kind of dreaming and expanding your visual, frame of reference. So Pinterest is great for, I think, getting in the mindset of your target audience. What is she searching for, right? Is she searching for, even if it has nothing to do with your business, right? So as a side note, I love building Pinterest boards for my target audience, even again, if it has nothing to do with my business. So women are over on Pinterest searching for seasonal things, right? Like right now I'm all up in the fall bucket list, right? It's so beautiful. Halloween decorations, right? Christmas is coming, all of those fun seasonal ideas. But more generically, travel, everyone's looking for beautiful pictures on travel, wellness, goddess. I love looking at goddess pictures, right? Just different ideas and perspectives of what people are coming up with. So anything that your target audience might be searching for, definitely create a board over on Pinterest and, dump a bunch of beautiful pictures in that board. But it's a great place to look for keywords. So look in the search bar for Pinterest and again, type in what problem your audience might have that they might be searching for and see what pops up, right? See what suggested keywords or suggested searches come up for Pinterest and for that same problem that you want to solve. So oftentimes, again, we are so caught up in our business, we're so deep in the weeds, it is hard for us to go back to the problem, right? Often we are talking about our results, which we should, right? We are talking about our offer. We know what the solution is, right? But you have to think about your audience and where they're at, right? They don't know, often, many of them don't know that your solution is what they need, right? So we often hear in selling, right, that you have to sell what they want, but then give them what they need, right? So you sell on what they want, but again, you provide them with what you know they need, right? You have the solution, but they might not know it yet, right? So definitely keep that in mind, that if they don't know that you're the solution, they're obviously not going to be searching for those words, right? So you want to think about what search words are they putting in to get the solution for their problem. So, right, those are some things to be thinking about. But Pinterest is a great place to be searching for those suggested keywords. So Pinterest is great. Another tool on Pinterest is you can try Pinterest ads. Pinterest ads could be very effective for you. They can tend to get, right, a little bit expensive, but $1 a day is the minimum most places. So on Facebook and Pinterest. So definitely think about, if you're thinking about ads, it's a great place to drive traffic. Pinterest also, right, I didn't say this before, but if Instagram is the least clickable, right, there's no place to click on Instagram except your profile link or the stories, but Instagram is the least clickable. However, Pinterest is the most clickable out of all the social media platforms, right? If you've ever been on Pinterest, right, everyone is used to clicking every pin. Every pin has a URL. So every pin you can put in a different URL, or, right, you can have different URLs to every pin. So everything's clickable. And everyone is used to clicking. It's a really seamless transition interface, especially with Pinterest and Etsy, right? But especially Pinterest and most websites. It's really seamless to click off of Pinterest and go to a website. People are used to getting that recipe. They are used to getting that printable. So everyone is used to clicking. So it's a great place to drive traffic. It's clickable, highly clickable. So, right, if you are thinking about ads or you're wanting to drive traffic, Pinterest is a great place to think about. And what's really great in the Pinterest tools is as you're creating an ad, it will suggest keywords for that ad. So it's a really great exercise just to pretend like you're going to create an ad. You don't have to go through with it, but just see what keywords it suggests for you. So it's a really great tool just to kind of get in that mindset of, okay, what are the results I want to offer, but what is the problem that my target audience is looking for a solution for, right? What is the problem that I solve? So those are some things to think about. So Pinterest is a great tool for all of that, for finding keywords. Excuse me. And then the only other place I was going to suggest, excuse me, for keywords is Etsy. So if you are on Etsy, or even if you're not, even if you just shop on Etsy, it's a great place, again, to find keywords as well. So especially if you do have a shop on Etsy, you definitely want to be all up in the suggested searches on Etsy. Because again, it is a searchable database as well, right? It's obviously people are searching for things they want to buy, things they want, all those things. So it's a little bit different mindset because that's a little bit more products. There are services obviously on Etsy too, but Etsy has a really great searchable capability. So you can search in the search bar on Etsy and it will suggest popular searches. So that's a really great place to find keywords. But then also it will suggest, especially if you have listings, it will suggest similar listings, right? So this is a really valuable tool. If you have an Etsy shop, you definitely want to click on a listing, any one of your listings. If you're in that like listing page, there's a place where it will say similar listings, right? So you want to see what is Etsy suggesting that's related to your product. If nothing related to your product comes up, that's something to think about, right? There may be something you need to change in that title. So if you have any Etsy questions, right? Again, I was on there for 20 years. No, is that right? No, 15 years. Feels like 20, right? But anyway, I would love to share any Etsy tips that I have if you have any questions on Etsy. But it's a great place, again, to look for popular searches. So if you at all have any kind of printable or planner or, right, especially a physical product that you offer, as well as some of your other services and offers, definitely check out Etsy. What are people searching for and what titles are people using to sell those types of products? Even if you don't have an Etsy shop, right, it's something to think about to include on your own website, right? So that's tip number one for SEO. You definitely want to get keywords, right? And start doing some keyword research, wherever that is. Google, ChatGPT, Pinterest, or Etsy. Those are some really great places to kind of check for keywords, popular searches that are related, again, to the problem your target audience is looking for. Okay. So tip number two, what do we do with these keywords, right? We might have 50 keywords, thanks ChatGPT, but now what, right? Now where do we put them? So the best place to think about putting them, obviously, the things that we do every day, right? If you are posting content every day, you definitely want to think about including some SEO words, some keywords in your posts. Definitely want to think about hashtags, right? Hashtags, love them or hate them, right? They are clickable in Facebook and I guess not on Instagram, but they are clickable on Facebook, and so people are searching hashtags. You can search for them on Instagram, so it's always still good to use hashtags over there. But yeah, definitely hashtags are another great thing to check. Which ones are popular? Which ones have, people always say to use a mix on your posts of really popular hashtags, maybe something kind of mid, like a mid-level hashtag, and then maybe something that is just for you, right? So like lately I've started using hashtag my name because I want that to be just for me, right? I want it to be the most. I want my stuff to pop up when anyone clicks on that hashtag, right? I don't want anyone else to own that hashtag. So anyways, that's my little tip for the day. But definitely hashtags, you want to use some hashtags, but use keywords in your posts. So that's really valuable. The other great thing to think about is where you are going to show up, right? So if you are wanting to show up on Google, sometimes your Facebook may show up probably for your name, or if it's a really popular account for your business, that will show up before your website. So oftentimes it is really hard to drive traffic to your website, right? If you build it, they don't always come, right? I don't know about you, I found that the internet is a really huge place, right? It's hard to be seen. Etsy is huge, the internet is vast, right? So if you are wanting to drive traffic to your website though, and you are wanting to show up in Google, SEO is going to be your number one tool. So you definitely want to get the right keywords and you want to put them wherever you can. So this is the question, where do you put them? Definitely in your posts on social media, but as far as your website, there are so many hidden places where you can put keywords and probably should put keywords, right? So in the title of your pages, in the URL slug of your pages, in the pictures, this is always a hidden thing, right? The alt text to your pictures on your website definitely include some keywords, right? We always want to make sure they're related to the picture, of course, but put in some of those keywords. So wherever you're finding the popular searches over on Google or Pinterest or whatever you find are the popular searches, start putting those keywords in your pictures on your website, the name of your picture file. So this is another trick, right? If you are using Canva, you can label the name of that, right? Canva design or whatever. And then when you export it, it is named that, right? Blah, 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 .png or blah, 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 .jpeg or PDF or whatever you're saving it as. And then when you post it, that is in the name of the file, right? So definitely something to think about, using these keywords wherever you can, right? Especially if it is a popular or probably more so if it's a niched down keyword, you definitely want to be putting that wherever you can. So on your website, it's really important. If you are blogging is a really great way to show up in Google. So if that's something you haven't thought about, definitely think about blogging. If you feel like there are things you want to write, or if you catch yourself writing longer posts, you may want to think about turning those into blogs, right? If notice your own habits. Not many people are reading a lot of long form posts, right? I don't know about you, it's really hard for me. As I'm scrolling, I don't particularly want to stop and read an entire, right, a whole novel. I'll read some that I'm really interested in, but it's really hard, right? I'm busy, I'm scrolling. This is not the place where I want to read a lot. But if I want to blog, right, then I know I'm expecting to read, something that's longer. So blogs are a great way to show up on Google. You can put so many different keywords, of course, in the body of your blog, but in all the pictures, you can add that alt text. In the titles, those all have different, right? You have your H1 and then you have your H2 and different headings. You can put your keywords as well as tags, right? You can have categories and tags on your blog. So there's a lot of tools and capabilities to kind of put those keywords, and it's really important if you want to be showing up on Google for a certain thing, right? And there's a lot of popular searches that none of us are ever going to show up for because someone has paid for, right, those really popular things. So, but we can always niche down, right? It may be that someone has completely monopolized wellness coach, right? You may not be able to get into that group, but maybe it's something more. Maybe it's wellness coach who offers chakra healing, or wellness tips for weight loss, or some of those longer form keywords. Definitely you want to start using wherever you can. So those are my tips for so tip number 2, where to put them, right? So definitely include them wherever you can in your posts, in your pages, in the slug, and in the alt text of the photos. Those are definitely some places to put them. As well as if you're on Etsy, right? If you're on Etsy, again, I can share a lot more tips, but in your listing titles, you definitely want those keywords to be first in your title of your product on Etsy. So that's something to think about, and then as well as in that first paragraph in the description. So definitely think about that. And then Pinterest, of course, right? Pinterest, if you're making pins, definitely include, if you're on Pinterest finding keywords, you definitely want to use those keywords in your Pinterest pins as well. So those are great. Those are great places. All right, so tip number 3. Now, where else to put them? I feel like that is kind of the same thing that I already said. So really, if you are blogging, I think tip number 3 was really supposed to be more of blogging, but I kind of already said that. So if you are blogging, that's a really great way to show up. What's great about blogs is that they are recent and relevant, and that is what Google is looking for, right? So on your website, if you built this beautiful website and hoped that they would come, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't, what's great about a blog is that it is new information. So many of us often, if we've built a website, we're not editing it, right? We're not changing stuff all that often. Maybe if we have pricing on there, we might change that, or we might update a little tweak here or there, but more often than not, we're not updating it that often. So that goes further. The less people are going to your website, the further down that is going in the Google search, because now it's old, right? It's older, there's not much traffic, it's just getting older and older. Blogs allow you to have new, recent, and relevant data. So that's what Google's looking for, recent and relevant. That's what's great about Facebook posts, right? Facebook, the algorithm also is looking for recent and relevant information for those searches. So that's why it's good to, right, keep posting. I'm not saying you need to post every day, but definitely, and I'm not saying you need to blog every day by any means, right? But you at least want something new happening over on your website. If you want to show up on Google, you want to have something recent and relevant showing up on Google or on your website, so that Google sees, oh, this is active, this is interesting, this is recent and relevant to this search. So that's all part of, right, the algorithm and all those things. So that's probably really my tip number 3 is to, if you haven't thought about blogging, blogging is a great place, because again, you can hide those keywords in so many places. Maybe not hide, but right, it can go in the title, it can go in your headings, it can be, of course, in the body of the text, the tags, the categories, all of those things are searchable by Google. So those are great places to put those keywords. So just to recap, right, tip number 1, if you are looking for keywords, right, get keywords wherever you can. I would suggest ChatGPT, the Google search bar, suggested searches, Pinterest, Etsy. Those are some great places to find your keywords. Number 2, where do you put those keywords, right? Put them in your posts, put them in your blogs, put them on your website, in the pages, in the slugs, the URL slugs, wherever you can. And then hashtags, right? Definitely think about those keywords and hashtags. And sometimes hashtags are a little bit different than keywords, but you can search. Instagram is a great place to search for popular hashtags, right? It'll suggest them. And then use those over on Facebook, because they're clickable over on Facebook, or searchable over on Facebook. and then use them also in Pinterest, wherever you can, right? TikTok as well. Use those keywords wherever you can, and in your profiles. That's probably one that I didn't think about or I didn't mention before, but add some of those keywords to your profile, right? Especially on Instagram, to your profile, to your bio at the top, and on Facebook as well, right? If you want to show up as the wellness coach or the business coach or whatever that is, right? Put those keywords in your profile. So that's another great place to think about that. And then tip number 3 is blogging, right? If you have not thought about blogging and if you want to get more traffic to your website, blogging is a great way to do that because you can use keywords everywhere, right? Of course, in the body of your blog, in the headings, in the tags, in the categories, as well as in the pictures, right? So definitely everywhere on your website, if you're ever using a picture, you definitely want the name of your picture, like the file name, to be some type of keyword, right? You don't just want it to be like website picture 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You want it to be, mindset coach, chakra healing, crystal, ideas, business ideas, marketing help, whatever that would be, right? Whatever keywords are associated or that you want to associate with your business, include those in the file name of the pictures as well as the alt text on your website. So on your website, right, if anyone has questions about that, I'm happy to help. But on your website, you can click on any picture as you're editing, and there's a place for alternate text. So that's where you want to include some of those keywords. All right, so those are the top 3 things about SEO. I would love to hear what jumped out for you, what popped up. If anything, I would love to hear your 2 action items. If you picked up anything today that you want to apply to your business, I would love to hear it. Feel free to share below. But if you feel like you are stuck in a posting and hoping strategy, right? If you feel like all you have control over is your content, I always say content is not king. If your content is not converting, the answer is not more content, right? If it's not converting, if it's not working for you, if people are not responding to your content, the answer is not you need to do more of that. It is not about doing more of something that is not working. Content, I believe, should really be secondary because it is not about putting myself out there and just hoping it lands on the right ears. That is a passive approach, in my opinion, to business, right? You want to go to your audience. So really think about if you are so focused on content that you don't have time to build relationships, to me, that is the wrong mindset for business. You want to be building relationships, you want to be having conversations. The only way for you to have headspace to even do that is for content to be on autopilot. You want your content to be secondary, ancillary, in the background, right? I want your content to be not your main focus. If content is your main focus, if you're like, oh my God, what do I post? Oh my God, what am I gonna post? Oh, what am I gonna post? Oh, I gotta post over here. I gotta post more. I guess I gotta post more, right? If that is your mindset, I would argue that you are focusing on the wrong thing. If you are so focused on content, you do not have the headspace to be focused on the relationships you want to be building with the right people. So definitely think about switching your mindset. And if you have any questions about this, I would love to help. I offer a free social media audit to anyone in my Facebook group. I would love to have you over there if you're not already, right? Mompreneurs to Millionaires. I would love to have you and offer that free social media audit where we can look at what's working and what's not working. I feel like I've learned so much over the last 15 years. I would love to share it with you. I can usually offer some free ideas that could help you move your business forward. I also offer one-on-one coaching. I feel like coaching is the best way to, right, osmosis, download all of the information from someone else who has made all the mistakes, right? I don't want you to waste years like I did, stuck in a posting and hoping strategy, right? To me, that is not effective, not as effective as building relationships. So that's what I want for you, more relationships, more customers, so that you can turn those leads into paying clients. That is the goal, right? Followers do not pay the bills, right? Followers, you don't need more likes and follows, you need actual qualified leads. If you are not getting 5 to 10 qualified leads into your world every single day, let's talk. Feel free to just say strategy below. I would love to reach out to you and chat with you and give you maybe that free social media audit if that's something you're interested in. And I would love to share with you how I can help. I just opened up group coaching as well. So if group coaching is an idea that sounds appealing to you, where you would like to collaborate with other women and learn together, that's a new offer that I've just started. So if you're interested in group coaching, feel free to just say group coaching below, and I would love to share that with you as well. Awesome. I always like to say, right, if you do not have a plan to move your business forward, if you're at all feeling frustrated or stuck, what is your plan, right? If you don't have a plan, to me, that is far scarier than taking a leap of faith and trying something new, right? I really believe that staying stuck is fear keeping us in our comfort zone. And it is really hard to grow in your comfort zone. If you are wanting to grow your business, change your future, you've really got to try some new things, right? And it's far scarier to me. It can be scary taking that leap of faith and trying something new, but I think it is far scarier staying stuck because you have no hope, right? If you have no plan, you have no hope for the future. You don't have a reason to think, well, anything will change. If I'm stuck in the same ways, nothing will change, right? Unfortunately. So learn from those of us who have made all those mistakes so you don't have to. I don't want you to be stuck in your business and waste years. You're a go-getter coach, and I know you could do it, right? You can figure things out on your own. You already have. You're very resourceful. But I don't want it to take forever, right? You don't have forever to wait to be living the future that you want. All right, so that is it for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. This is Mompreneurs to Millionaires. This was SEO tips. I would love to hear your 2 action items. What are you going to do today to improve your SEO for your business? I'd love to hear.